Now it's time for more of Southern California's sports fishing voice. Let's talk Hookup. Get ready for more of the best fishing information and the hottest tips on improving your angling skills. Let's Talk Hookup is sponsored in part by Yamaha Outboards. Reliability starts here. Ford, the official truck of Let's Talk Hookup. Shimano Rods and Reels. Fish with the best. Shimano. And by Rancho Leonero, where your wildest Baja dreams come true. And now, Southern California's sports fishing voice, the hosts of Let's Talk Hookup, Pete Gray and Rock Cod Rick Maxa.
Welcome back, hour number 2. Let's Talk Hookup on the Mighty 1090. Pete Gray here with Rock Cod Rick Maxa. We have Captain Frank, Royal Polaris Shogun, talking some fishing here this morning. We're all pumped up.
I know.
Our trips we just returned from.
This got me so excited. I wasn't even there, and I feel like I was. You guys are doing such a great job talking about all the cool stuff and such great fishing information. This is a great show. We're having a great time, and we want to hear from you. If you want to be a part of the second hour, there's 2 ways that you can call us on Let's Talk Hookup. Again, our local line, that's 858 area code 457-1090. One more time, 858-457-1090. That's our local number. Or you can call us toll-free, and that toll-free line is 877-792-1090. One more time, 877-792-1090. It's been a very busy morning on the phones, but there's going to be plenty of shots for you to get through here on this second hour. And boy, do we have a couple of great prizes for you today. At the end of the show today, we're going to have 2 lucky callers, first of which is going to win a 3-quarter-day trip to go fishing on board the San Diego out of C4 Sport Fishing. Captain Ryan Boston, just what more can you say? Having an unbelievable year, fantastic yellow fishing yet again. I mean, limits and just big numbers of yellowtail have been the norm this, into November now, and those guys are still going strong. And you're going to get a chance to go fishing on that San Diego. And then another lucky caller is going to get to go fishing on that beautiful, completely rebuilt, awesome job on that Liberty. And what a fantastic 3-quarter-day boat you're going to get to go on. Fantastic food, RSW, the bunks, the whole nine. So a couple of great prizes at the end of the show today.
Indeed. Look who's here, Mike Lum. What's up, Mike?
Hey, good morning, everyone.
Morning, Mike.
Good morning, Mike.
It's really exciting to hear about both those trips. I was wondering how that trip went with you, Pete, and glad to hear that you had a great one. That's cool.
It was fun.
You guys were right earlier when you were talking about Tackle Day. That was really a lot of fun. That was I don't ever recall sitting in the booth at noon talking to people saying, sorry, I don't have anything to do. I could, it was amazing, just truly amazing. And a lot of thanks to everybody that came out and supported the cause. And I wanted to mention a couple of things about that. We did introduce the 2018 annual raffle tickets that day, and that helped a lot. A lot of people were interested in getting those right away, and they do make great Christmas gifts. If anybody wants to buy some to support the program, you can do that by contacting us. And the easiest way to do that is to go to the Rollo website, which can be found at CaptainRollos with an S. .org, and that'll get you there. And just we can't legally sell raffle tickets in California over the internet, but what you can do is if you'll send an email to us and say, hey, call me, I'm interested in talking about raffle tickets or something like that, we can follow up with a phone call. And also at the bottom of that homepage, Tim Baker's email address is there. It's tim@rollokids.org. And you can, or it may be Tim at Captain Rollos. It's right there at the bottom. Anyway, send him a note, and we'll get you tickets. They make great Christmas gifts, and we got some fabulous prizes that we're going to be giving away. For that drawing takes place the last day of the Fred Hall show in Del Mar. And then also we're getting close to the end of the year here, so a lot of people that are interested in making cash donations for tax deductions, that can also be done right on the website there, or again, contact us and we'll make the arrangements for that as well. And then of course, fishing tackle, used fishing tackle. We've just continued to get in a lot of great quality fishing tackle. People drop it off at Fisherman's Landing and they keep it until we can get there and pick it up. And then also, Steve Pinard over at Dana Landing, he does the same thing. And then, if you don't live in that area, you can always call us or contact us and we'll make arrangements to see how we can get it from you. But used tackle makes great fundraising tools for us. We get to take a lot more kids fishing because of it, and at the same time, you get a tax deduction. So.
There's some great gear in there, too, Mike. I know that a gentleman dropped off a bundle of rods just the other day that we held at the tackle store, and there was a brand-new Terramar 86 extra heavy rod. Still had the wrapper on it. I mean, a $200 fishing rod and just, wanted to. He didn't want a rod that was as long anymore, as getting up there in age, and wanted something a little bit shorter and a little easier to hang on to, so he donated it to Rollo.
Well, that's fantastic, and that stuff really goes a long way. And I'll tell everybody exactly what we do with it. We store it all year, and we hang on to it and collect it and take care of it, and then we haul it all down today at the docks, and we have a giant blowout of all the used tackle, and then some of the better pieces actually get sold on eBay that we think we can get top dollar for. And so it all that merchandise, all that product gets turned into money, and that money is used to take kids fishing. And I know families occasionally have somebody pass away, and they leave a garage full of stuff, and they really don't know exactly what to do with it, and how to deal with it. And it's a great way to help us, help the kids, and get a tax deduction at the same time. So please keep us in mind for that.
Great call. Right, keep up the great work, you and Tim and everybody associated with Captain Rollo's Kids at Sea.
And just a big thank you, Mike.
Well, it really is something I just am so passionate about, Frank. Thank you for the kind words. But honestly, this is a cause that I would really feel like there was a big hole in me if I wasn't helping. So it's a great cause. You see the looks on these kids' face, and you hear the stories. Real briefly, I had a guy come up at the tackle day, and he opens his phone, and he shows me this picture, and it's a group of kids, and they've got pieces of paper, and they've written thank you, Rollo. Each piece of paper has a different letter, and the kids are all holding it up. And I said, oh, that's really nice. Thank you for showing me that. He said, yeah, that was 7 years ago. And I said, 7 years ago? Why 7 years ago? And he said, well, my wife was a school teacher, and she put that trip together. And she said those kids now some of them are in, and some are even just now going into college, and they still stop by her class and tell them that was the single most memorable day they had in all the years of being in school. So it does affect kids. It does make a difference, and we got to keep the ball rolling. So.
That's awesome.
I agree, but I got to say, Mike, if I was going to school and I got to go fishing, I think it'd be the single best day of school I ever had.
I totally agree. But there's a lot of kids out there that won't get that opportunity if we don't do this. So
that's right.
Cool. Keep it up, Mike. Thank you very much for the call this morning. Appreciate that.
Hey, with that, it's time to find out what's biting out there. It's time for our FishDope.com report, sponsored by the Sato Crimp and Winder Company, where they only make products that work. If you want to end connection failures, you need the Sato Crimp Kit. It's a must-have piece of gear for your next trip to help you catch everything from school-sized tuna to record-sized tuna. And with all brass crimps and other features, it's better than ever. It's the favorite connection method on the Royal Star, the Royal Polaris, the American Angler, and most of the other top boats. If you haven't already, you should make it your preferred connection from Spectra to Mono or to Fluorocarbon. Get it at selected tackle stores like Fisherman's Landing Tackle or at SatoCrimpandWinder.com. And we're going to start off with our private boater buddy, the man, Captain Mark Wish of Pacific Edge on the line. Good morning, Mark.
Hey, good morning, Ricky. Good morning, Pete, Frank, Kathy.
Good morning.
Mark.
What a fantastic show you guys got going on here so far.
Well, we're talking a lot about it, but I think there's a lot of good info, huh?
Well, what I have in my notes to start this report is a heads up to the listeners that weren't able, for whatever reason, to listen to the first 20 or 25 minutes of your show, because you guys missed the most astounding, in-depth, and relevant conversation about long-range fishing I think I've ever heard. Just the four of you guys are sitting there talking about, your Guadalupe trip, Pete, and, what works and what don't, and why it works and why it doesn't. That was just a great conversation, and your listeners should really check in. Of course, listen to the whole show, but definitely you should check the archives and listen to the start of today's show. That's fantastic.
Thanks, Mark.
But closer to home, it's definitely winter's coming, guys. Season's changing, and how and what we're fishing for is changing also. So we'll start up north here. We'll talk about some squid fishing above Point Doom up there in that deep hole sector on the bait grounds there. The seiners are out of there on Friday and Saturday nights. They've been working it hard, but had some guys in the store yesterday give me a little heads up on what's going on there. There is a little bit of sea bass. There is a little bit of big halibut mixed in on those bait grounds. No signal on the big yellowtails yet, but that's probably coming soon. But, if you get a chance, check that area there. Weather's up on the outside, so minimal pressure at Nick and SBI right now, but it's been pretty good at Catalina. Again, we're getting into that late fall, winter type mode. Not so much surface action, but still some big yellowtails around there, more in the deep structure spots, perfect for private boat fishing. This time of year, they're fishing that deep structure, both up west, backside middle, backside east, all them deeper spots. Fishing on the anchor, fishing a squid jig combo, drop a loop type setup. There's some of that big yellow still around. Also at Cat, offshore, there's still some marlin around, even though it's November here. There's still a decent amount of marlin swimming around. The water's good. And it's mostly in tight to the front from below Avalon, out in front of Avalon, around the slide, and then down to the 152 there. There's been a little bit of eyeball fish, but some jig fish, and it's been steady fishing. Hardly anybody's doing it. At Clemente, been a little bit of a tough week, between the weather up and the Navy grief, but it's open right now, which makes it better for the tuna fishing as well as getting in there and catching a yellowtail or two. But that bluefin's still around, mostly in that 86 to 381 zone. And interestingly enough, another area developing is that 1,000 fathom water just southwest of the 43, back where we used to catch albacore in the day. But there's been some of that bluefin that slid down into that, as well as some of that good grade yellowfin hanging out on the dolphin schools in that area. So something to keep an eye on there. But lots of opportunity, and probably ought to get after it because winter's definitely coming.
It's coming.
Yeah, no doubt.
It's coming.
It's time.
So, fishdope.com, year-round, the boys over there keep track of what's going on out on the water, whether it be Santa Barbara, Catalina, San Clemente, San Diego, offshore, Coronado Islands. They've got it all. Fishdope.com, $20 off a new membership to Fishdope.com by using the code HOOKUPNOW, lowercase, no space, HOOKUPNOW. And, Mark, how do we find you?
Pete, we're in Huntington Beach. We're on the corner of Bolsa Chica and Edinger. The phone number is area code 714-840-4262. The website, PacificEdgeTackle.com. And I heard you mention that knot they were showing you, that figure 8 knot, that little loop knot.
Mm-hmm.
One of my customers showed me that a couple of years ago. I finally learned how to tie it perfectly. I love that little knot.
Okay, good.
That's a cool thing, man.
Yeah, it's better than a perfection loop, right? Stronger?
Yep, I think so.
Yeah.
So
it's what I got to learn, because it's not an easy knot.
No, it's not. You got to lube it up a little bit when you're pulling it down and make sure you pull both the standing part and the tag end at the same time so it pulls up even. But properly tied, it's super strong. I've been using it for a couple of years. The thing's awesome.
I'll have to ask John Collins in a couple of weeks and see what he thinks. Yeah. Hey, thanks, Mark. Appreciate that tip, and we will talk to you next Saturday.
Okay, you got it, guys.
All right.
Thanks, Mark. All right, let's head on down to San Diego now, down to Mission Bay and C4 Sport Fishing, and talk to our good buddy Marcos. Marcos, the boss is on. Better behave yourself.
Good morning, guys. Good morning,
Morning, Marcos.
What's up, Marcos?
We're working hard here. It's all of us being very productive.
That's right.
Well, we had some pretty good fishing this week, kind of continuation of last week. Those half-day trips, so catching some bonita, some calico bass, good bottom fishing in there. San Diego Fishing Islands, still very good fishing there. 104 yellowtail, 113 bonita yesterday. 1 bluefin, 93 yellowtail, 90 bonita the day before that. Just kind of goes back like that through the week. So still very good options on those half-day and 3/4 day trips. The trip you got back from a day and a half this morning, 16 English had 30 yellowfin in that 20 to 30-pound range. So good fishing all around there. And as long as this nice weather that we're having today continues, we're going to keep running those trips. Check the website, seaforthlanding.com. We have the full schedule up there for those half days, the 3/4 days on the San Diego, those overnight trips. We're alternating boats, trying to get those out every night as long as you guys are interested. Check the website. Give us a call at the office, 619-224-3383. Or come down to the landing here and check out Tackle Shop. Head over to the restaurant there, have a Rock Hard Rick burrito. And, Pete, I want to let you know that Kat said she was on board with the Pete Gray Breakfast Bowl. You just have to come down and promote it.
Okay, all right, I'll do it.
She's on vacation right now. We'll have to figure out a time for you to come down.
I'll make you tell Cass she'll make me one. I'll come down.
And then you can stop being jealous of Rick there. I know you talk a lot of trash about him behind his back.
Even though I probably would rather eat the Rock Hard Rick Breakfast Burrito, I better stick to the healthy choice. So.
Yeah, there you go.
Well done, Marcos. Great job. Great report. One more time, shoot us this phone number. Somebody wants to get in on this fantastic fall fishing, yellowtail, still happening, all the great stuff going on at Seaforth.
619-224-3383. Check out the website, seaforthlanding.com, or come down and visit us.
Always the best, Marcos. Appreciate that. We'll look forward to talking next week.
I'll talk to you then, guys.
Thanks, buddy.
All right. Rick Jensen, Sport Fishing Financial with our Northern Baja Report. What's up, Rick?
Hey, good morning, guys. Good morning, Frank and Kathy.
Good morning, Rick.
Good morning.
Hey, It's great to hear all this good news about Guadalupe and your trip out there, Pete. We're all booked up and jonesing to get out there this Thursday on the RP for our second trip, and
nice.
Followed up by a trip out there next year on the Shogun.
Absolutely.
If we're going to Guadalupe next year, that is. I'll keep that criteria in there.
Good job, Rick.
So, anyways, out at Mag Bay, the striped marlin fishing has never been better. Guys that know what they're doing out there and targeting them, catching fish up to 100 a day. Good yellowfin fishing for smaller fish. Some yellowtail, wahoo, and dorado around. Up at La Bocana, there's been a lot of regulation stuff stopping some of the seiners in the area, and I guess this year they're showing as much bait as ever before. That's bringing the big yellows that like to move through there, and will even probably improve December through April. There's a few wahoo showing up as well here and there, and a dorado here or there as well. Some tuna on the outside. But the good news also for that area is that their whale watching season will probably pick up a little earlier than normal. There's already been the first gray whale heading south, sighted out here off Long Beach. So whale watching season and yellowtail fishing is on the horizon in central Pacific Baja. Over at Cedros, we talked to Jeff at Cedros Kayak Fishing. Wahoo are still around there at the island. They're getting bit well on rapalas and cedar plugs. The dorado and tuna are still there at the airport high point, and the yellowtail are showing up on the yo-yo iron. Calicos are down deeper. Bay of LA, yellowtail still around. Cabrilla fishing's improved with the increase in the current and tide. A couple grouper and white sea bass continue to show in the mix there. San Quintin, yellowtail on the high spots here and there, hit or miss. Winter's coming, and again there, like most of Central Baja, better months, December, January, and February, we always do well there. So I'm looking forward to doing some fishing in San Quintin soon. Ensenada, decent yellowtail fishing. That's about it. We hear from there, and the same with Gonzaga. Limited reports, small yellowtail showing up here and there.
Wow.
Wanted to throw out that I was happy to see Rick in Dallas at the IGFA event up in Newport Beach. It was good to get together with the people there supporting and bringing more presence with IGF here in their first event, a celebration of California there in Newport. And it's nice to see here where we invented the idea of sport fishing to get the IFG more involved. So whether it's IFGA, Hubs, CCA, Rollo, or wherever you guys want to get involved as listeners with the fishing community, with your support, time, donations here when the fishing season winds down a little bit, look for something like that and try to get involved when and where you can.
Yeah, that was a great time. Mike Ferrier put on such a cool, it was just fantastic, a cool slideshow of just photos, from the beginning of the 1900s, just kind of cataloging fishing and how things got started and, where it went from hand lines to rods and reels to long-range fishing today. It was a really, really cool presentation that the IGFA put on. And, yeah, it was a great night. It was fun seeing you, Rick, and thanks for a great report and lots of great fishing going on right now. If somebody wants to keep in touch with Sport Fishing Financial and have you take care of them so that they can save a little cash and get to go fishing on a Guadalupe trip more often, how do we do that?
Yeah, get a hold of me on my phone line at 949-481-1807 or find me on the web at sportfishingfinancial.com.
Have a great trip, Rick, on the Royal Polaris, and we will talk to you in a couple weeks.
Okay, guys. Have a good day.
All right. Thanks a lot.
All right. Well, that's going to wrap up our Catchport. Again, sponsored by Dana Landing on Mission Bay, your one-stop shop for everything you need to go fishing. A complete saltwater tackle shop. They have a full deli. They offer Mexican and California licenses. They do trips and six-pack charters. And when it comes to freshwater tackle, check out East County Bait and Tackle. They're full of all the freshwater tackle and live bait that you need for a great day on the lake. That's Dana Landing, right across from the SeaWorld, next to the Dana Lawn Tramp in Mission Bay, and East County Bait and Tackle. That's at the end of the 67 freeway at Mapleview and Lakeside. Check DanaLanding.com for more info.
Let's go ahead and jump into those jam-packed, very patient callers. Thanks for hanging in there.
You got it. Mike in San Clemente, you're up next on Let's Talk Hookup. Good morning, Mike.
Hey, good morning and happy Veterans Day to all of you.
Good call,
Thank you, Mike.
You too, buddy.
Hey, what you guys said in that first 40 minutes was very, very true. I just got back Wednesday from an 11-day trip on the Spirit of Adventure, and it was really an epic trip. But the reason I'm calling, Frank, when are you guys going to be going back to Clipperton?
Right now, we're most likely going to go in 2019, and it'll be the Accurate trip in February. around the 26th of February, but we'll just add some days to it to make it a 22-day trip at least. So it'll either be 22 or 23. You can fly both ways. But that's the plans for 2019.
So if you fly both ways, how many days is it?
It would be 17.
17 days.
Right.
Because you're going to fly in and out of Cabo?
That's correct. Okay.
Wow.
So that's the plans for it. I haven't put it on the schedule yet. It's something I will work on this week, okay?
That's
Okay,
awesome.
thank you very much.
All right. If anybody is interested and wants to go on that trip, all you got to do is call Jen or Monica and tell them, put me on the list for Clipperton. Just make sure you call me when you get it scheduled so I'll know the dates and get a deposit in, okay?
Kathy, you've described it a bunch of times. That's just one of those destinations that long-range fishing is so exciting, and there's so many different places you can go to catch big fish, but Clipperton is separate from all those.
It's completely separate. It's a magical place. Even if you don't catch a fish, it's magical to be able to have the opportunity to be on this little atoll in the middle of the ocean, and you realize how small
I'll bet.
you are. I mean, if you get the opportunity, to just sit for a while and look at yourself, you're like, wow, I'm this little speck on this little boat next to this, atoll on this big giant Earth, which is in itself a speck on the universe, and you just have a reality check-in, and it's on top of that, it's just fun to inshore fish and then have the opportunity to catch the tuna and the wahoo. It's just all that inshore fishing. It's called catching. We do catch and release, but it's just fun.
I think that's so cool. I mean, there have been unbelievable mega big fish catches and all these kinds of things, but that's almost secondary to what a cool destination it is.
Yeah, it's definitely an opportunity that doesn't come around. I mean, not many people on the planet can say they've been to Clipperton.
And the Royal Polaris is pretty much the only boat that does it anymore, or no?
Well, I wouldn't say that does it anymore. The only other guy that does it here and there is Tim on the Royal Star, but I don't think he has one scheduled in the near future. It is definitely a phenomenal trip. I want to emphasize the inshore fishing because the last trip we were there, it was tough tuna fishing, fair wahoo fishing, but the inshore fishing, people were fighting to be able to get in the skiffs. Not fighting, but saying, "Hey, if you don't want to go, I'll go."
I'll take your spot.
I'll take your spot. Yeah. And it was just a lot of fun. They caught wahoo from the skiffs, but the leatherback fishing, the blue star fishing. I believe that was the trip where Kathy got her all-tackle record on a Blue Star. So
it's so much fun to throw a surface iron out there and just see the clarity of the water is over 100 feet, and you just see the ocean coming up, and your jig's bouncing all over, and you're whining it, going, "Get it, get it, get it! Somebody get it!"
Oh, that's so
and they're just
cool.
knocking it all over the place. It's so fun to see those fish come from 100 feet away, just screaming across, a Blue Star Jack screaming across to come and grab your jig. You're just like, wow.
Fun. All right, Mike, call the office and get on the list. Sounds like you want to. Thanks a lot for the call this morning.
All right, how about we jump right back into the phones? This time talk to Sean, calling us from Santa Barbara. Hi, Sean. Welcome to Let's Talk Hookup.
Morning, Sean.
Hey, good morning. Just got a couple quick comments and one question. Want to thank Frank for giving me the opportunity to be a charter master on the Seeker 6-day trips on the Royal Polaris the last couple of years. It's really an honor. And this last trip, one of the fish on the kite got shark bit, but they taped it and they estimated it to be at least 220 pounds. I don't know if you guys heard about that one. And also we had a 800-pound mako shark eating our fish up at the bow. And when we came in, I was talking to Frank, and he said, "Well, let me tell you about the story about the mako shark that jumped on the back of the stern of the boat one time." So that's kind of what I'm calling to let him tell about that story.
Oh. It was a phenomenal trip. It was a good trip. We were fishing Socorro. That was when it was legal to fish Socorro, and right there at the camp we had a night bite. And the bite was over, and Tommy was hanging in the galley. One guy was fishing. Tommy Rothery was a crew member then.
Wow.
And, so it goes back a few years.
Yeah.
I thought I'd told the story before. Anyhow, all of a sudden this huge thump hit the deck, like something that's huge. And Tommy goes out there, and there's this 800 to 1,000-pound bonita shark on the deck. We ended up naming this angler the Gladiator. But anyhow, he was the only guy still fishing, and he set the hook on this fish, and the fish jumped and then jumped again, but when he jumped into the boat.
Oh.
And that's when, we didn't have the tackle boxes we have today. There were a lot of wooden tackle boxes. Well, Tommy, seeing this thing, ran around the opposite way, jumped down in the engine room, and came up with a 36-inch pipe wrench and started beating the crap out of this thing to try and stop it.
Go Tommy.
Meanwhile, tackle boxes were splintered. I mean, I'm not saying in 8-inch pieces. I mean, they were literally splintered. There were hooks, jigs, sinkers everywhere. Okay, it was like a bomb went off. Okay, and Tommy, Steve and I had just gone to bed before this, and Tommy comes running up. Frank, you got to come see this. I thought for sure we had a 350-pound tuna on the boat, right? I go back there and I go, what the hell just happened? And after all this went on, this is how he got named the Gladiator. He went up to try and get the hook out of the mouth of this giant bonita shark, and I think you know as well as I do, 30 minutes after they're basically dead, that jaw still operates.
Oh, yeah, no doubt.
And so we named him the Gladiator.
That's a great story.
That's cool.
Hey, thanks a lot for the phone call this morning.
All right, how about we jump right back in, talk to Tom, calling us from San Diego. Good morning, Tom. Welcome to Let's Talk Hookup.
Well, good morning, guys. First of all, I want to say, hey, happy Veterans Day to all the guys out there. I'm on my way for a free Denny's pancakes, whatever. So, and yes, last Saturday it was amazing to see Mike Lum out of work. I mean, about noon they were trying to scrounge around to find new gifts to put in some of the boxes. So I was helping the girls you bring, Rick, Dallas, and the other girls. They were doing all the work. I was just kind of sitting there being security. But it was fun to kind of look over. Tommy V was hawking stuff, moving stuff out. All of a sudden they're gone. They're out of business. So my question is for Kathy: any new records?
No, not recently. But
any year after?
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was curious too.
I'm not targeting anything at this moment. So. We aren't going back to the Amazon, which, that was a phenomenal trip. Yeah. I'm just fishing and enjoying it. And if we have an opportunity to go to Africa or Papua New Guinea or something, I'll get focused again.
That's cool.
All right, very good. Thanks a lot for the phone call this morning.
All right, how about we talk to Dee? Dee's calling us from Laguna Beach this morning. Hi, Dee. Welcome to Let's Talk Hookup.
Oh, what a great show. It's a great show, the whole show, especially about Guadalupe. Anyhow, my question is this. I was out of town on Saturday. I have a friend of mine who's never been long-range fishing, and he wants to go on the Shogun or the Royal Polaris next year. When might the schedule for both boats, the Royal Polaris and the Shogun, be out? So I want to get access to
It's already out. All you have to do is go to the Shogun website or the Royal Polaris website. It's shogunsportfishing.com or royalpolarissportfishing.com. Schedule's there, and you can book online or you can call the office and book. Monica's in there today, and we're only closed on Sundays now. Okay?
There you go. Thanks a lot for the phone call this morning.
Hey, when we come back, we got a lot more Let's Talk Hookup coming your way. More of your phone calls, more great information. You stay tuned. It's Let's Talk Hookup on the Mighty 1090.
Are you feeling that itch to get out on the water? Come fishing on the American Angler and reacquaint yourself with some familiar faces and make new friends. Captain owners Brian Kiyohara and Sam Patella take pride in every aspect of the American Angler operation, from their loyal and trusted crew to the sashimi-grade fresh fish you'll take home. It's easy to find a vacation that fits your schedule. We have everything from day and a half to 10-day trips and longer. Call me at the office, 619-223-5414, or check us out at AmericanAnglerSportFishing.com. We want you to become a part of the American Angler family.
This is Rick Jensen with Sport Fishing Financial. I think most of you get that I'm a fisherman and work with the fishing community, but to understand exactly what Sport Fishing Financial does, ask yourself these 4 questions. First, do you really know how much money you'll need in order to retire comfortably? Next, do you know how much you'll have to save on a regular basis to reach that number? Do you have a process that includes a proven investment strategy and confidence that the money you save will grow? Last, do you have a plan for how to turn your savings into retirement income? If you don't have good answers to these questions, you're not alone, but you should, and I can make sure you do. In addition, if you own a business and currently provide or are planning on providing a retirement savings plan for yourself or your employees, we should really talk. We offer an outstanding variety of creative solutions that are sure to meet your needs.
Some of our listeners may feel overwhelmed. Others may believe they are already doing the best they can. In either case, I bet Rick can help. Set a time to meet with him and start planning for your personal or business investment success. Find Rick on the web at sportfishingfinancial.com or give him a call at 949-481-1807. Turner's Outdoorsman, Southern California's #1 shooting, hunting, and fishing tackle retailer since 1971, is right in your neighborhood. Now 19 stores and more to come throughout Southern California. No one does it better. Turner's Outdoorsman brings you the best prices and selection, plus a knowledgeable staff that will help make your day on the water or in the field more fun. Stop by your neighborhood Turner's Outdoorsman. To find a location nearest you, check the web at turners.com and sign up for special deals and more.
When you put on a pair of Maui Jim sunglasses, the world begins to look different. Colors are more vivid. Contrast is clearer. Details are crisper. Wherever your vision leads you, beauty follows. With polarized lenses that eliminate glare and enhance color, Maui Jim sunglasses won't change the world. They'll change the way you see it. Color, clarity, detail. Maui Jim.
The warm weather is here and our lakes and rivers are brimming. Just remember, if you love California and you love to boat, please wear your life jacket. And make sure everyone with you puts one on too. Save the ones you love. A message from California State Parks Division of Boating and Waterways.
XEBRS 1090 AM, Rosarito, Baja California.
San Diego's sports leader.
The home of ESPN Radio.
The mighty 1090.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Hookup on the Mighty 1090.
All right, phones are packed. Let's go ahead and jump back into it.
You got it, man. Very patient callers. This is your first opportunity to get through with an open phone line. Well, there was. It just got gobbled up now. But there's going to be plenty to get through. 858-457-1090 or 877-792-1090. Let's talk to Gus, calling us from Burbank this morning. Hi, Gus.
Well, I'm from Burbank, but I'm on the road right now. I hope you can pick me up. Over.
Go ahead, Gus.
Loud and clear, buddy.
Well, I just wanted to thank you all for the nice words earlier in the show, and I'm calling to talk about Rallo's kids, and I want people to know I didn't do what I did to get a big tax deduction or anything like that. I did it because the kids are the most important thing. I don't care how many big tuna you caught or how many trips you go on. It's so important to get these kids out on the water. And that's what I'm calling to tell people. Contribute to Friends of Rollo and, don't save the receipt to write it off or whatever it is. Just do it. It's so important.
That's awesome, buddy.
That's it. That's all.
Well, Gus, like we talked about, your very generous donation of your 25-foot skipjack, which was in beautiful condition, and you loved that boat and took care of that boat and fished many a day on it and named it after your dad, right?
Right. I named the boat Ihu Nui. In Hawaiian, that means big nose.
And your dad had a big nose, and Manny Klein, very famous jazz musician, and I thought that was pretty cool. But the amount of money, we don't know what we're going to get for that boat, but it's going to be many, many, many thousands of dollars, and thousands of kids are going to be able to go fishing.
Well, and the other thing I want to thank you for, Gus, is just getting the word out, saying what you just said about, hey, everybody, if you can, donate to Friends of Rollo, because the money gets put to good use. We have very, very little overhead. People like Mike and Tim and Harold and all of us work our butts off and get, we don't get paid, and we're doing it because we love it. So the overhead is low, and 95% of your dollar is going to get used to take kids fishing.
That's awesome.
And how about Harold Garrett? Harold David.
The what?
How about Harold?
You're just saying, how about Harold in general? What a great guy to the organization.
Harold's a phenomenal person for our entire industry, not just the Friends of Rollo.
No
He is just a great person and a very knowledgeable man.
Yeah, but can he fish?
Oh, can he fish?
Wow.
Well, that's questionable.
You guys are cold-blooded.
Hey, Gus, thanks a lot for the call, and thank you for your generous donation to your boat, Captain Rollo's Kids at Sea or Friends of Rollo. We call it both, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Thank you, Gus.
Thanks, Gus. Appreciate that. Let's go ahead and jump back in the phone.
You got it, buddy. Rich and Bradley, you're up next on Let's Talk Hookup. Hi, Rich.
Morning, Rich.
Hey, good morning.
Morning.
How you guys doing?
We're doing great, Rich. What's up?
Your opening monologue, you guys were talking about using the heavier line to get the fish in, where you'd have three anglers and three of them in a row with 100-pound. One of them gets bit on 80-pound. Everybody goes and grabs their 80-pound. And I thought, perfect question for Kathy would be, do you reach a point of diminishing returns with the amount of, or the pound test you're using? Because I don't know if I could put any more pressure on 100-pound than I could maybe on 60-pound. And I'm hoping maybe you could address some of the mechanics of that, unless you're talking about the size of the line of your leader to keep the fish from chewing through it. So maybe you could help me with that. Maybe you're some inside baseball.
Well, the way I fish is I have Spectra backing and then a very small top shot of whatever line class I'm fishing, whether it be 60, 80, 100, 130, whatever it is. And in my experience, 60-pound line, I can't get enough pull on that fish. I can put more pressure on a fish than 60 allows. So 80, I felt better with I caught 2 out of my 3 fish on 100-pound, and I just have more confidence that I can really pull on that fish hard and get him in fast, versus 80 where I kind of felt like I had to be gingerly and, not really put as much pressure on it. They, even though you set your drags at a certain amount for a line, you get in situations where they're putting more pressure on that than that really is because of the scope in the line or the way they're pulling. And sometimes you just feel like you can't really pull hard enough on 80, and I really like that extra 100-pound line to know that I'm going to pull as hard as I can and do what I need to do, and that fish isn't going to break off.
And, at the same time, you make a good point. Can you pull any harder? If you tied it off to a tree, can you pull any harder? Probably not, okay? I agree with you there. But when you add all the little factors that happen when you're fishing, the possible nick, the possible this and that, then yes, I think there's I don't think there's a diminishing return much when you go to that heavier line. I really do think it's worthwhile, and your chances are better in landing that fish, even though you aren't pulling any harder, okay?
There's 25 guys on the boat with you. You get into tangles, you get into backlashes, your fish goes around the anchor line. I mean, it's just one of those things where if you're fishing a piece of 60-pound that has been nicked and frayed a couple times, rubbed on the boat the fish before, and you're pulling real hard and everything's tight and it touches the anchor line, it breaks. And if you have that exact same scenario on 100-pound, it can go through 3 wraps, and the crew member can get on top of the bow and he can unwrap it, and you're back to and then you're back to pulling on that same fish. It just heavier line allows for so many mistakes to happen, and you not pay the price for it.
Yeah, for sure.
That's it in a nutshell.
Yeah, and you can pull really hard on 80 and 100 pounds.
For me, it's confidence. When I have confidence that I'm going to, I have everything going behind me to get that fish in, I work harder. Yeah. I really feel like I can really push it. And that lighter line, I don't. And I can't break it.
Sure.
I can't break 60-pound, but I don't have the confidence.
Another perfect example is when that fish is circling, he's going to hit the bottom of the boat a little bit.
Sure.
So if you have the 100-pound, you're going to be better off. He might touch the edge of the prop a little bit. There's all those different things. The Spectra laying across your line. The Spectra laying across your line is going to cause a little nick. That stuff's sharp.
And when you have 25 people in the water and you're bound to get in tangles, especially the current we had good, strong current all going in the same direction, and everybody's lines laying the same right next to each other, where tangles were nonstop. That weakens your line, right? Being in tangles.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
So there's a lot of factors, right?
But I think that was a great question.
Yeah, for sure. Hey, thanks a lot for the phone call this morning.
Tim in San Diego, you're up next on Let's Talk Hookup. Hi, Tim. Good morning.
Morning, fellas. Thanks for taking my call. I really appreciate you taking my call.
Thanks
Sandy,
for joining us.
we're winding down right now to I'm just kind of put my gear away and stuff. Is there anything special that you, like when you wrap it up and put your gear away and stuff? Is there anything special that you do to?
Well, number one, I don't think you wrap it up and put it away because things can happen all winter.
Yeah, why would you put your gear away?
I think you just take good care of it and clean it up and make sure the salt's off of it. And if you want to get extra careful, then you can go ahead and pull all your Spectra off and run it through fresh water. You can do that. And other than that, I would say take those reels in and get them checked out. Maybe have them. Just make sure that they're in good working order. Check your roller guides. Make sure that they're working properly, and I think that pretty well takes care of it, okay?
Kathy, any more hints?
I was going to say the roller guides because so many people ignore that. If you have roller guides, you should take them apart and clean them up, make sure they're rolling. A lot of people have roller guides that don't roll.
What about your Spectra on your line? I don't check mine. I probably should. Do you check yours?
I check it when I'm fishing, and I make a note that I need to replace it, or I have something that, like this trip, I had a nick in my Spectra Deep. Well, I know I'm going to take that. I set the reel aside. I just didn't fish it anymore. I said, I got to take this off and redo it. But I don't take my line off and wash it or anything like that.
Yeah, that's the extreme angler, I think, that does that.
I don't think it's a bad thing to do, but the next time that I clean my Spectra will be the first.
All right, hey, hopefully we see you on the boat before next year, but we don't, we're so fortunate here living in Southern California. We don't really have seasons like we're talking about. Oh, it's getting cold. Oh God!
Next thing you know, we're going to be catching big yellows off Colonel.
Booger had 100 yellows. It's just
100. Nice, great.
It's just there's such good fishing still to be had right now.
Yeah.
We always joke if you had the fishing that we have right now in June, every boat would be full. It's one of those things. But it's November. It's not June.
That's right. Indeed. We always run out of anglers before we run out of fish.
Yeah, for sure. Hey, let's jump back in the phone.
Yeah, Bruce in Huntington Beach is up next on Let's Talk Hookup. Good morning, Bruce.
Good morning, Bruce.
Good morning, guys and Kathy.
Good morning.
Hey, Frank, the 50% boarding deposit, how many of the other boats at Fisherman's Landing go by that?
I don't know. All I know is that's what we do on Shogun and Royal Polaris. And I think there's several other boats that do that, okay? I'm reasonably sure of that. But in our case, that's what we do, and we think it's a fair way to go. For a guy to put in a $200 deposit and expect, that too many people walk away from $200. Okay.
What is okay if you put a 50% deposit to hold your spot, and basically, again to go over that again, when you have a 50% deposit and then you go on that trip, let's say
it's a 6-month cancellation. Pete.
6-month cancellation.
6-month cancellation unless we fill your spot, and then 95% of the time we fill your spot.
And then what's the cancel? Then you get all your money back?
No, there's a 10% holdback. Okay, for the paperwork that needs to be
10%
done.
10% of the trip.
10% of your deposit. Okay? And a lot of times I cut that in half.
Yeah.
Okay? It just that's basically it.
I think it's lenient.
The most important thing I want to say is, it's just like the other day, okay, a good angler, just before we left on our trip, he got a call from his dad's caregiver 20 minutes before we boarded. Said, your dad isn't doing good. I don't know if he's going to last more than a few more days. He couldn't in good conscience leave.
No.
Okay? But he didn't have trip insurance. Okay? If he had trip insurance, it was no problem. Okay?
Right.
But, it's in this case, I worked out a deal with the guy that he's plenty happy with. But, it's hard for the boat owner to be responsible for every broken leg, every strained back, every pulled muscle, every relative that is coming into town. The boat owner shouldn't be responsible for that. You have to be responsible
Absolutely.
for that.
And you buy an airline ticket, you don't get any money back. I think it should be the same way. So I think what you're doing is very, very lenient.
Any trip Frank and I go on, I always have trip insurance.
Yeah.
I never know what's going to happen. He might have to run the boat at the last minute or something,
Right.
and nobody else in any other industry is going to give us our money back just because, we can't go.
If you're worried about that, buy the trip insurance.
It's so inexpensive compared to the cost of your trip to get trip insurance. I mean, it's just you're almost crazy not to do it.
No doubt. Hey, thanks a lot for the phone call this morning.
How about next up, we talked to John calling from Fountain Valley this morning. Good morning, John. Welcome to Let's Talk Hookup.
Good morning, you guys. I just wanted to go down a little memory lane on the Royal Polaris. Back, I think the third day on the water, I actually went on an overnight trip. They were running overnight one-day trips for Albacore on the Royal Polaris, if you can believe that. And at one point, I was missing one of my sons. He's like 9 or 10 years old. I couldn't find him anywhere. I went up in the wheelhouse. He was sleeping up in the wheelhouse, and Steve was running the boat. And and we had a great trip. And those boys were 9 and 10 years old. They're in their 50s now, and they still go fishing with me. So, besides Friends of Rollo, all you dads and moms out there, get your kids out fishing early, and they'll stick around. That's just a message I want to try to get to all the dads and the veterans. And
I agree with that. You know, some of the best times you'll ever have with your son is him sleeping in that bunk right below you or right above you, and him getting up in the morning and just saying, God, Dad, this is so cool.
I think it's important for the moms, too. I mean, I didn't have kids, but my nieces, I had them out fishing. Kristen took her first 5-day trip when she was 7. And
I
Katie
still
was
look for them in the bunk above me or below me, and we still get out at least once a year, and they just went on a 2-day with me out of Seaforth, and they still go with me. So dads, get your sons, and of course Friends of Rollo, it's a great deal, but I still had a one-day trip on the Royal Polaris, overnight trip, incredible to do that. I don't remember how many years ago. I won the jackpot, unfortunately, with a small Spanish jack I caught about 5 o'clock in the morning, and we missed. They caught albacore limits the day before, and the day after. The day we were there, we didn't see an albacore. It was unfortunate, but we still had a great time, and we still go fishing. And one of my boys caught a 62.5-pound albacore on the Prowler at one point, and on a 30-pound test line, a 62.5-pound on a certified scale.
Unreal.
Great.
Well, thanks for sharing the good things there, John. Thanks a lot for the call this morning.
All right, let's talk to another John. John in Escondido. Thanks for hanging in there with us. Good morning, John.
Hey, morning, guys. Morning, guys. Kudos on Tackle Day. I enjoyed watching the show live and, doing everything. Came out Thursday, fished on the Dolphin. Saw Ricky leaving on his boat in the morning. And, he had a short trip because we went on a half day, and he was back at the dock before we were. But I'm sure he had a good time fishing. And I'm going fishing with on the Royal Polaris on an 18-day in April. Looking forward to that. So I was able to get some more gear for my trip on that, and looking forward to I got me a ticket to the Del Mar show, and so I can get some more tackle and everything like that just before I leave.
Yeah.
So just awesome. Kudos to you guys.
All right, John. That's nice. Yeah, Bart Hall was there at Tackle Day, handing out to the first 20 people that donated to Friends of Rollo a ticket to Del Mar or
cool.
Long Beach.
Oh, wonderful.
That was neat. Thanks a lot for the call this morning and supporting Friends of Rollo, too.
Hey, if it was 2, why not 3? Another John. John from Long Beach this morning.
Triple John.
What's up, John? Good morning.
Hey, good morning, gentlemen and lady. This is a great show, and I've fished on the Shogun and the Royal Polaris a few times, and, if no one's tried it, I mean, I know all the boats are good there, but the crew, the boat, the food, the service, it's unbelievable. It's like they're standing around the corner peeking and watching. You don't even, all you do is you're going to turn around and call them to help you, and you don't even have to. They're right there.
Well, thank you very much for the compliment. We really appreciate it. And we just realized we're in the service business, and there's certain things we can control and things that we can't control. And the only thing we can't control is weather and fishing, but we do our best to try to.
I got to tell you, at some points that last day at Guadalupe, we had 6, 8
I was
going
watching
at a time. It was going off at certain points of the day. And that crew, Renee and his whole crew, how did they take care of all those people at the same time? I don't know, but every moment, if you needed a crew member, or likely they were right there next to you anyway, taking care of business. It was they just worked their tails off. And one guy who's not a regular on the Shogun that I got to sound off to is Bobby. What a great guy to have on the boat he is. He fishes with Jack Webster Commercial Fishing Albacore, but
he is a pleasure.
He's such a good guy, and what a knowledgeable fisherman he is too. Really, really a good time.
It's the most impressive thing to watch a well-oiled machine happen like those guys. What's crazy to me is just their lack of communication, and I mean that in the best way, and that's just lack of verbal communication. Nobody says do this or do that. Everything happens. Every fish comes untangled. The fish get gilled and gutted and put into the RSW. Like, all of those things just happen without, there's nobody commanding.
You don't know.
Yeah, exactly. No, okay, now you go do this and you go do that. Things just happen, and it's a very controlled chaos.
And if you want a picture of your fish, they take the time away to get you set up for the right photo and everything. It's
impressive to watch.
The well-oiled machine, Frank. Thanks a lot for the call.
Hey, when we come back, we're going to find out who's going fishing on another couple of well-oiled machines. We're giving away a trip on the Liberty. We're giving away a trip on the San Diego. You stay tuned. There's more Let's Talk Hookup coming your way on the Mighty 1090. Everyone likes special treatment, kind of feel like a VIP. Well, that's how our listeners are treated at Poway Valley Collision. I have personally heard of several stories of how well our friends Jim and Mary take care of their customers that we sent them. Poway Valley Collision is worth the drive from anywhere in the Southland. We know you may not need them today, but when accidents happen, it pays to go to Poway Valley Collision. And listen to this. Our listeners get a special discount that can save you hundreds of dollars on your car or truck repair. Just tell them you listen to the show and you get the deal. They work with most insurance companies, including Auto Club, MetLife, Wawanesa, and more. Just bring your car or truck to them and let Poway Valley Collision do the rest. I have had my truck repaired at Poway Valley Collision, and the job was perfect. So get your vehicle fixed right at Poway Valley Collision. Tell them you listen to Let's Talk Hookup, and they'll save you money on your repair. Poway Valley Collision, 14211 Garden Road in Poway. Check PowayValleyCollision.com.
Have you been looking for a live bait hook that keeps live bait alive? Look no further than Japan's leading fish hook, Gamakatsu. It's the little things that make the difference, and Gamakatsu hooks drive the point home. With an absolute perfect bend and ideal barbs, your bait swims harder and longer. And when you get bit, Gamakatsu hooks bite back with a vengeance. All hooks are not the same. Go with Gamakatsu for infinite success. Gamakatsu, simply the best. Check Gamakatsu.com. Great boats, free parking, and a fully stocked tackle shop. Just a few of the reasons Seaforth Sport Fishing is a favorite among anglers. Come aboard top charter boats like the Aztec, Cortez, Endeavor, Eclipse, Apollo, Outer Limits, Pacific Star, El Gato Dos, Alexis, Pride, Privateer, Tribute, Pacific Voyager, and the Voyager. Plus, the new Seaforth Sea Watch in San Diego offer the finest half, 3/4, and full-day trips available. Check out the full-service tackle store at Seaforth Sport Fishing. And it's all run by fishermen for fishermen. 1717 Quivira Road, just off Mission Bay Drive in Mission Bay. Book online at seaforthlanding.com. No matter the fishing conditions, count on the Seagar family of fluorocarbon leader material to help you catch more fish. Fluoro Premier has a smaller diameter with the highest break strength. Plus, it is super soft. When bites are tough, tie on Fluoro Premier. Blue Label is tough as nails with incredible abrasion resistance and impact strength. And new Pink Label is the choice for tough light conditions, giving you a little more visibility for better line control. Pick up a spool of Seagar at your favorite tackle dealer or visit Seagar.com.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Hookup on the Mighty 1090. You're at the big winner of a 3/4 day trip going on board the Liberty at a Fisherman's Landing is going to Rich in Camarillo. And then the winner of a 3/4 day trip on the San Diego out of Seaforth Sport Fishing. That one's going to Mike in San Clemente. Guys, congratulations. There are not two finer boats to go fishing on.
Yeah, for sure. Frank and Kathy, wow. What a great show.
So much fun.
So much fun talking about it.
There's a lot of fun being here.
Let's do it again.
Yeah.
All right, soon. All right. So in the meantime, Frank, if somebody wants to ride the Royal Polaris or the Shogun, how do we do it?
619-226-8030. Monica's there right now. And if not, you can go online to check the schedule, everything else, RoyalPolarisSportFishing.com, ShogunSportFishing.com.
But again, I want to remind you, if it says sold out on the trip, make a phone call.
Absolutely.
And just say, hey, I want to get on this trip. How do I do it? And it's amazing how Monica and Jen can work miracles to get you on the trip that you want to go on, for sure. All right, guys. Thanks very much for you.
Guys.
Thank you very much for listening today. We're going to be back tomorrow morning, 7 and 9 a.m. Rosie and the gang from Cedro Sport Fishing will be right here in the studio talking yellowtail, calico bass, and more right here. Thanks for listening today. Thanks to Adam on the other side of the glass for all he does for us. And thank you. Happy Veterans Day to all the veterans out there. And we'll see you tomorrow right back here on the Mighty 1090.